Hello everyone. My name is Father Dennis Gill and I'm a priest of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. And I'm happy to be with you for this certificate course on the Ars Celebrandi. Let me give you an overview of what this course will cover. Ars Celebrandi and the celebration of the Eucharist looks at every part of the Mass with its directions for celebration as a way authentically to encounter the mystery of Christ celebrated in the Eucharist. The skillful discipline of the Ars Celebrandi illustrates the value of the order and arrangement for the Eucharist, for the ordained and the baptized, to become united more so with Christ in his priestly offering to the Father. The more radical communion with Christ's offering bears fruit in the life of grace and Christian service to one another. My presentation has 5 parts. I'm going to look at the Ars Celebrandi as a type of liturgical theology and a pathway to liturgical participation. And then I will look at some general considerations that are very important for the Ars Celebrandi. And the next 3 parts will look at the order of Mass. We will first look at the introductory rites and the liturgy of the Word. This will be followed by the preparation of the gifts and the Eucharistic prayer of the Liturgy of the Eucharist. And finally, we will look at the communion rite of the Liturgy of the Eucharist and the concluding rites of the Mass. I wouldn't be surprised if many of you really are not sure what the Ars Celebrandi is. It's a Latin phrase, and the best way to translate it would be the art of celebrating. I first became attracted to the Ars Celebrandi many years ago. In fact, it was in the year 2006 when I came across a conversation that Pope Benedict had with a priest at Castel Gandolfo. And this was the conversation. The Holy Father was meeting with the priest of the Diocese of Albano in August of that year at Castel Gandolfo. And one of the local priests in the town of Aprilia said to him, "Your Holiness, for the pastoral year that is about to begin, our diocese was asked by the bishop to pay special attention to the liturgy in the theological dimension and its celebrative practices. The central theme for reflection at the residential weeks in which we shall be taking part in September is this: the planning and implementation of the proclamation in the liturgical year, in sacraments and in sacramentals." Now, that was an awful lot to say to the Holy Father to introduce this question. This priest continued, "As priests, we are called to celebrate a serious, simple, and beautiful liturgy. To use a beautiful formula contained in the document, communicating the gospel in a changing world by the Italian bishops." Holy Father, this priest asks, can you help us to understand how all this can be expressed in the Ars Celebrandi? Well, I was immediately piqued. First of all, the question was so outstanding. And then there was the use of the phrase, the Ars Celebrandi. I couldn't wait to hear what Pope Benedict was going to say in response to that question. Here is just part of the Holy Father's response. Ars Celebrandi. Here too I would say that there are different dimensions. The first dimension is that the celebration is prayer and a conversation with God. God with us and us with God. Thus, the first requirement for a good celebration is that the priest truly enter into this colloquy. And then the Holy Father went on to explain, and he makes 2 very fine points that I'm just going to summarize. In proclaiming the word, he feels himself in conversation with God. He is a listener to the word and a preacher of the word, in the sense that he makes himself an instrument of the Lord and seeks to understand this Word of God, which he must then transmit to the people. The Holy Father explained that at some length. And then the second point he makes is this. In addition, we also must learn to understand the structure of the liturgy and why it is laid out as it is.